So, hello, my name is Kate White, Director of Center for Prenatal Perinatal Programs, and I'll be hosting parenting expert and world-renowned speaker Robin Grille to do a short course. I welcome Robin, and we're going to be talking about his book, The Inner Child Journeys, How to Grow Our Children Grow Us Up, and it's a 6-session practical training course for practitioners. So Robin, would you like to speak a little bit about what you'd like our practitioners to know about the inner child process?
Sure. Thank you, Kate. I'm excited about this course. I'm really looking forward. And I love sharing my approach to inner child work with practitioners. It's one of my favorite things to do. Of course, there's all kinds of approaches to inner child work. I didn't invent it. I just have a particular... I do it with a particular accent, I guess.
Yes.
And there's particular things that I emphasize. And the way that I do inner child work with people is that it's not directed. The experience isn't directed. It's more about discovery. And the direction comes from inside your body. So there isn't a sense of a prescribed kind of a result. Let's try and see if I can make my inner child happy. It's listening to the inner child. The beginning, the launch pad, as it were, is a trigger that a trigger that is real for you, that has come through your relationships. The book is written in the context for parents and for school teachers or anybody that works with children, simply because our children are children in our lives, not just our own children. They're the most powerful triggers of, that bring up things that need healing in ourselves from our own childhood, babyhood, adolescence as well. Mm-hmm. So that's the trigger is the starting point. And we're always being triggered. And life goes so much better when we pay attention to that, and when we learn some kind of a framework for how to listen to the content that is being brought up from the trigger and giving that some kind of a developmental response, an answer. The child inside us is waiting and crying out to complete a cycle, a developmental cycle that was arrested in childhood through some kind of wounding. Something did not go developmentally well. We all carry some of that. So the process, I guess the most exciting part of the process for me is that I've seen through all of my years of working with people as a psychotherapist how the wisdom of the body, that when something was developmentally arrested, there was a trauma of some kind or a neglect of some kind, that the body knows what wants to come next. There's like an experience that wanted to happen that couldn't. And it'll come in my inner child process. It comes in the form of a wish. It'll come in the form often of a fantasy that on the surface seems fantastic. It's unrealistic and impossible, but it carries a wonderful message that tells you what you need developmentally, whether it's something that you need from the outside world or something that needs to come from inside you, an unexpressed boundary or unexpressed creative urge or unexpressed impulse of some kind. There's a wisdom of the body that I trust and I love to show people how to retrieve that, and that's what my process is about. And the wish of the inner child is the developmental need that then can come to fruition through the right developmental nutrient. That's where the work becomes creative. How do we find an adult appropriate way to nourish or to liberate that developmental need that became articulated through the wish? So that's the sequence, from trigger to the owning the feeling, discovering the wish. That's a developmental need. What is the theme of that need? What is the right developmental nutrient? How can I have that as an adult? And that completes the cycle.
Right.
And it builds so much more by the more that we feed the inner child, the more that we can intuit what our own children need, because their behavior is a code. Our children don't always tell us directly what they need. Often their behavior is an indirect, their need is codified by their most bewildering and baffling behaviors.
Right.
Our intuition doesn't come from reading our child so much as from reading our inner child.
Right.
We behave the same way. That's the power and the objective of my process. And I teach practitioners on how to deliver the process both in a formal, in-depth way, which is you're guiding your client through a series of steps that complete a cycle. And it can be a closed-eye process. It can be a very regressive and very profound process, very beautiful process. Or you can just weave the inner child-aware conversation, inquiry, curiosity very gracefully in and out of conversation without necessarily going into a deeply regressive state. So there's the snorkel approach and there's the scuba diving approach. There's a deep sea dive as well. And there is method to that, and things to understand. There's concepts to understand, understanding our own curiosity. Our curiosity is a very important key to how we interact with our clients. There's a message in our own curiosity. So that's the thing that I want to deliver for practitioners.
Great. Well, we'll have 6 sessions, 6 Mondays in the United States, 6 Tuesdays in Australia.
I'm looking forward to meeting you all.